Look at all this mess. And it gets messier. This poplar is actually some good lumber. I enjoy cutting it. It mills nice. So I want to cut up a bunch of this just mess I have everywhere over here. I want to cut up a bunch of this stuff and stack the logs somewhere. I want to burn a bunch of this brush all in one day or night or whatever. But yeah, I gotta neaten this up. Goodness gracious. I'm trying to keep my sawdust, my saw chips, dust, whatever, unmixed with the leaves, because we could use that for gardening, I guess, and other stuff. So I'm trying to keep that neat. Kind of like I did this, but I never did anything with it. It's just going back into the land pretty much. Down here is where I've been milled a bunch of that oak lately. And check that nice stack of lumber out up there. Very nice. I love it. I gotta liven up, wake up a little bit. It's still morning. I think it's around noon now, maybe. So I'm gonna be out here working my butt off for a while, cleaning this stuff up, so I can do some milling and we can get back to the deck. Because that's what these boards, the 21-foot log, the deck is 20 foot. So I'm going to try to mill this in 21-foot, like half-inch boards. It's so nice and quiet back here. The bird sounds and everything makes you not even want to start the saw up. You just want to lay around somewhere and take a nap. Let's start picking up all this big stuff. Get all this big stuff out of the way and stack it, and then I'll start cutting some of this other stuff up into little logs, firewood sized logs, even these little ones like this. When you get these little ones like this cut in firewood lengths and they dry, they burn great. Split them one time down the middle and that's great wood, especially that hardwood right there. Man, this stuff burns good. Lots of stacking. I swear when you're doing this, you realize what a blessing your days of energy are. Just waking up and having a lot of energy. Such a blessing when your body gets worn down. There ain't nothing that can fix it but God and time. Especially when you're hurt. Oh my goodness, you're just praying. Just straight out here praying. Where's our firewood stack? Right there. We're gonna stack this up. What I've thrown over there. I'm gonna stack this pretty much, probably about pretty high, and put some plastic over it, keep it dry, and have some great, amazing firewood later. Oh yeah. Whew, wood everywhere. Little stuff like, you know, small stuff like this, most people, they just want to burn it in a brush fire. It's tedious, they want to get rid of it. I try to save these little ones. They're such great firewood. I mean, you just put these right on the fire, they're dry, they'll burn like so good. So to me, it's a lot of extra time for this little stuff and work, but they're great, man, to throw on the fire. And then when it gets down to smaller stuff like these little branches, those are kind of what I like to throw in the brush fire. Get rid of those. But stuff like this, man, that'll get you through a winter. Little things like this get you through nights with great heat. Puts off real nice heat because they burn so good. So I try to cut all these, like stuff like this, I try to cut it a couple times and stack it and keep it because it just burns so good. And another thing, I mean, you can get a whole arm full of these things, super light, and that'll burn just a great hot fire. So they're definitely worth the extra time to keep them. Cut more. A lot of this stuff I'm stacking is actually already seasoned. I cut this down like the end of the summer, I think, when we built the wood drying deck cabin, whatever you want to call it. Anyway. This is what I'm doing pretty much all day. Cleaning all this up. Dedicating a day. Or more than a day. A couple of days until I get all this cleaned up and I'm ready to mill. This is what I'm doing. Nice stack of firewood right there. Cut all that up, stacked it. The Husky 55 hadn't even ran out of gas yet. I went around and cut a bunch of them branches up that were all over that tree. Now I gotta do something with some of this brushy stuff, and there's a pile right there. I could just burn it there, I guess. I don't know. I got a pile over here too, a little bit of a pile. Got a bunch of wood over there too that I cut up way back a while ago. It looks like I'm gonna need me a new spot to stack. These things are, this is about 6 foot 5. I'm 5'10", so about 6 foot, 5'10" to 6 foot, something like that. And I'm ready for a drink. Maybe something to drink, and maybe something to eat. Take me a little break. But I just busted butt on that nonstop. And take me a little break, come back and clean up some more. Whew. I think we can go a little bit higher on this one. I guess as high as I can reach. I guess if it falls over, whatever. I gotta get a tarp and put it over it, keep it dry. Oh yeah. I just started it while ago. Dang right. Going on, I can't even think. I think I might actually be able to go a little higher up here. Oh. Seems kind of sturdy, I guess. They're gonna need to tie something around it to make sure it don't fall over. Does that look any different? Looks great to me. Total difference since I started out. Man, this is crazy. There's literally wood everywhere. And I stacked my 6-foot tall stack of wood here. Then I've just been piling other piles up. Just getting the wood out of the way so I could blow some leaves. And look, you can see the ground now all around here. That's how I like it. You can come back here and work and it's just how can I say, I'll be back here working by myself rather than a bunch of snakes and insects and crazy stuff all back here tripping over stuff and debris everywhere. I like it nice and just where you can breathe and work. And yeah, I drank me a beer and but pretty much this whole side over here is ready, all nice and clean, and I can get my wood and bring my tools over here with the trailer and the four-wheeler and drag stuff out of here. As you can see, I've cleaned up most of this like last year when we were building our structure up here. I blew out all that, cleaned a bunch of this stuff up. So I'm just kind of working my way down. And that's what I pretty much plan on doing every time I start dropping trees and clearing out sections. Just make a big pile like this with branches and leaves, and you can burn a big pile like this as long as you don't have anything near it. And honestly, we learned a big lesson the other day about how fast things can go wrong with fire. I'll tell you that. We might share that with you guys. But all on this side, it's all pretty cleaned up. So I need to go over here and I want to blow a bunch of these leaves and debris and stuff away down towards that way. Get it all away from this wood so I can just have a clean place to work and mill, and you know, so you're not tripping like that. So, whew, not bad. Eventually, of course, it's not the #1 thing on the list right this second. Wood milling is, but eventually, once I get that wood milled up, I do want to come out here and clean a bunch of this stuff up. I mean, a whole ton of other wood and stuff out here that I need to clean up and organize and cut up. Some things like this I keep for projects. Those are nice long pieces of wood. Stuff like this, these leftovers, I'd cut these. I cut these 1-inch things, boards, to actually stack my wood up, you know, so the air get in between. You have 1-inch spaces in between your lumber, so it'll dry and get air in between them, and good airflow in between them and keep them dry, and you don't have, you know, water and stuff in between them causing mold. But yeah, I want to do the same thing over here before I burn that pile. I have no idea when that's going to happen. Maybe not even really in the near future. I might just let it settle, dry out, do its thing for a while. But before I burn that, I want to clean all this stuff up, blow it that way, clean all this up, blow it that way. We'll burn it and get rid of it. I know a lot of people, a lot of comments are like, you could use those leaves and all that stuff for, you know, for your garden and all that stuff. Our whole property's covered in leaves and stuff like that. We're just certain areas, we just want to pile it up and get rid of it. And just get it out of the way so it's nice to look at, nice to work. You know, we have leaves and stuff everywhere we can use for compost and gardening and all that. So, but one thing I like about seeing the ground is what I call it. I like to see the ground, and then next year when the leaves fall, it's not as big of a deal. It's a lot easier to blow with the blower and clean it up, pile it up. Either go put it in your compost or burn it or whatever you decide to do with it. It's just easier work. Like these branches from years and years of just wood, and hold on, let me show you here. This is years. This has been laying here for years. You know, these branches and stuff. And when you're trying to blow leaves around this stuff, it gets caught and just makes it a lot harder with all this stuff on the ground. So once you clean that up, you go through, you actually see the ground, you clean it for the first time. The next fall, not near as bad. At least you know what's there. It's only leaves. It's not a bunch of branches. Of course you'll have new stuff fall, but you'll see it. And it's easier to move. It's not buried from 3-4 years of leaves and rotten leaves, and it basically turns into dirt like compost, which we have everywhere. So we have great stuff for compost and gardening. We can go around and scoop up some of the bottom layer of that stuff and put it right in our planter boxes. So that is great, but some areas we just want to see the ground and be able to work and not feel like you're just, you know, gonna be attacked by chiggers and insects and, you know, stuff that could hold you back and make days of your life pretty hard. Anyway, whew, like, man, I am beat up. I think we've been working about 3 months straight now. Built all kinds of stuff. And this is why things take time, because we want to clean it up first, and you know. I think we're ready to mill. I got pretty much all of this cleaned up pretty good. I blew all of this out. So both sides are pretty clear, debris free. Now I gotta roll to see if I can roll this log a little bit. It's got that hump right there. I could cut it with a chainsaw, but before I go through all that, I'm gonna try to turn this thing a little bit just to get that hump right there kind of to the side. So I'm gonna try to roll this like just a little. I put a log right there to hopefully stop it. Sorry about the shakiness, but this is kind of downhill right here. So I put that there because I know if I try to roll this a little bit, it'll just might keep going. So I put that there. It's gonna be hard to roll because I got kind of some of this stuff in the way, but I don't know, maybe that'll kind of stop it from rolling too much too. But I kind of want to just turn this thing a little bit. This is a heavy dude. Oh yeah, it rolled. That's a little better. I still might have to trim this thing. Looks like I can roll it. Yeah. I might actually have to cut this hump just a little right here. I guess I gotta put my rail up here and kind of eyeball it and see what I gotta do to get it to where I can get my first cut. My rail is 16 foot long, so this is 21. So when I'm using that 16 footer, I have to, it's gotta be where when I do my first cut and I get to my 16 foot, I gotta loosen it up, leave the chainsaw in place, and slide the rail up that extra 4 or 5 foot to get that second quarter, whatever. So a lot of this I need it flatter so I can actually slide the rail. So I'm gonna have to trim this off, cut that off, and probably trim this a little bit, which is gonna be a super pain in the butt, but it can be done. We getting there. We ready. Maybe I'll move this out of the way now. It was sitting on top of this. That's a tree that got crushed when I dropped this big tree. It fell on this tree. So I'm gonna have to cut this out of the way too. Yeah, that's gotta go. So I gotta dig around this, clean that up. Clean this up so my rail will fit on it. But whew. Looks like we're milling today. That side is actually up off the ground now. This part right here is actually fully up off the ground. Before I rolled it, that part was way off the ground. So that part, when I rolled it, hit the ground, and then this part came up off the ground. But I think it's secure enough. This thing is so heavy. This It'll be alright. Kinda. Whatever. If I need to put something over here to sturdy it up some, I will. But I'm gonna get my rail and kind of sit it on here just to eyeball. You could, when you put that flat rail on here, it'll kind of show the spots that need to come down. So I'm gonna go get it. It's right over there where I was milling the last logs. That's actually not bad. I think we might be able to get away with that. How that is right here. But this right here, this hump, and that hump, I'm gonna have to cut those. That way, when I do my first cut and say my saw is sitting right here, say I get this far, then I'll stop and then I'll move this whole rail, that other 4 foot, 5 foot, move it that way and then keep on going. That's the plan. That's what I do on most of them. Most of the trees I've done so far didn't really have them branches sticking out like that, but so I gotta cut this flush, basically cut this flush here like that. That way my rail right here will just slide right over that, and then I can re-secure it. So right here I'm gonna have to cut this flush, because when I try to move the rail, this right here is gonna slide and that's going to cause a problem. So I definitely have to cut that flush, cut that flush. I think the rest of it is okay. This is raised up here, but the saw, I believe, will still kind of hit that part and cut that still. At least to just get enough cut to where the mill will go straight across here. So alright, so that's what I got to do. I could still cut that a little bit, but I don't know if I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave that as is and take my chances on that. This part right here is pretty close, so I think I'll be able to slide this whole rail. As long as I cut that out of the way, cut that out of the way, I think we're good. So that's not bad. Cut that tree out of the way, and then we'll be milling.